Warning, the following episode is going to contain hijinks, phenomenal music, and may make you stop your car on the side of the road. InObscuria!
Welcome back, my friends, to the InObscuria podcast, a podcast where we exhume obscure rock and punk and metal, and we put them in one of three categories: the lost, the forgotten, or the should-have-beens. My name is Ronnie James, DOG. I was supposed to bark when I did that. Damn it.
Sorry.
We rehearsed this several times. Oh, well, not going to happen.
He's got the stare down going at the plate that's on the table in front of him. Yeah. He's got radar lock.
He knows that the button will be pushed.
Yeah, he knows it. He knows the routine now. When he sees me walk downstairs with a dish, he's like, oh, yeah, I get to lick the bowl.
All right. Well, that's Robert Harrison, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
I'm Kevin Williams, and we are your InObscuria host, along with
Ronnie James, DOG.
He is front and center, ready to go.
And he was barking up a storm before we started.
Wouldn't shut the hell up.
Nothing.
During sound check.
You were a horrible dog.
Yes. Go away.
Would you like me to hit that button?
Let's just get it out of the way because it's getting cold.
Let's just do that.
That's right, Musketeers. It's time to get your grub on with the chef that can give it to you funky style.
Robert, God not eating. That's right now, Robert, God not eating. Wow!
All right. You got something for me? Yeah. You're preoccupied over there. What's going on? You working? What are you working?
Sorry, I got a lot going on.
Okay.
A lot going on. No, I present. This is a rerun, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Gumbo gravy.
I think so, yeah.
I think this is a rerun, but I made it again. I couldn't resist.
All right.
So when you make gumbo and you eat it and you enjoy it, but you put the leftovers in the fridge, the next day it's got that lovely coating of gumbo nectar on the top of it, congealed
nectar,
and you
also known as fat.
Yeah, most people scoop that off and throw it away or feed it to the dog, and he's very disappointed because I did not. I turned around and made gravy with it the next day. So here you go.
All right. So it's healthy.
Cooked out all the fat. So I'm serving it over cauliflower and mashed potatoes with a couple of scrimp.
I'm going to be a dick and give him the empty plate.
Give him the empty plate. That's how you get bit. That dog will bite.
All right, so let's see. So this is cauliflower, you say?
Mashed potatoes and cauliflower, half and half.
I thought it was a banana at first. Like banana.
April Fools. No, just kidding. That was last week.
Well, shrimp.
Yeah, it's good shrimp in it. Getting good at that. So it's gravy flavored like gumbo or gumbo flavored gravy, however you look at it. But I had it over fish, but there is none left to share with you. And you saved me from having another round. You walked in, I was about to just completely gorge another piece, but I had to put that away.
All right, I'm going to be nice. I'm going to give you a good portion.
All right, go. Look at that dog.
And it's gone.
There's a happy dog right there.
Oh,
so
man.
I did that because I'm trying to distract myself from the poison ivy itching that's going on over this side of the table. Still, 2 weeks into it, week and a half into it, whenever you're listening to this, it's hell.
Yeah, your arms look like shit.
Yeah, they do. It's hot, but I've been wearing long sleeves, so I don't scare little kids at the grocery store.
Well, you still probably scare them, but maybe
different
less.
Different ways, different ways. So I was distracted because I was looking at my phone because I have here the itinerary for my weekend at the hippie retreat.
Oh my God, that's right. You explained this last week.
Yeah.
I threw in some awesome, if you haven't heard it, I threw in some awesome little sound bites underneath while you're talking.
Boy. It's going to be something. I had an image of what to expect just because who it's going to be there. Well, then the itinerary comes out and it's even worse.
I can't believe they have an itinerary.
Yeah, first of all, I'm impressed they have an itinerary. But the person organizing this, my friend, she's very organized. So as far as organized hippies go, I should have brought my glasses. So they have dinner. Get this. Dinner's not until 7.
Well, that's second dinner for you.
Yeah, exactly.
So you just have to eat something on the way.
Yeah, so it's like vegan or something like that. Then there's some music, and then movement experience with Tova.
Bowel movement?
It didn't specify.
Oh, well, that sounds about right.
Oh, I skipped one. So 5 o'clock, the opening, directional circle.
Directional circle.
Led by my
Well,
friend.
it would be either right or left.
Yeah, walking meditation through a bamboo spiral.
What the hell you say?
I'm going to get lost. I've marked my words. I'm going to go there. Hello? Hey, over here.
Didn't the Viet Cong do that?
Yeah, I think so. There's many
Ouch.
holes I fall in. So it just goes on. There's some music that night. That's Friday night. Saturday, 8:45 in the morning. Yoga and guided meditation.
Absolutely. You'll be up for
I
that.
don't think I'll make that. So at 9:30, grief circle.
Circle.
Don't know what that is.
What are we grieving?
Is that like Duck, Duck, Goose? You sit in a circle. Come around and go,
duck,
you're
duck,
sad. You're
grief.
sad. You're sad. You're depressed. Go. Let's see. Marry yourself.
What the fuck is happening here?
A seminar by somebody.
Ooh, that sounds like a
What
jerk-off
the-
station.
Exactly. This is just not allowed in Georgia. That's still illegal, I think.
I know what that's all about self-pleasure.
Maybe. I don't know. I may show up just out of curiosity for that one.
Get back in the bamboo spiral for
They're
that.
like, oh, Robert's here. He'll teach. I'm like, what? No. Some more yoga, chanting. Oh yeah, got to chant, and drums.
Wait, what time is this by all this?
So this is Saturday afternoon.
Wait, we've gotten into the afternoon already?
Oh yeah, we're already Saturday afternoon.
You skipped lunch.
Oh wait, I did 11. So here's where they make up 11 o'clock lunch. That's good. So
That's
have,
on your schedule.
I can have second lunch about 2:30.
Sure.
Yeah, this is perfect. So they made up for that. Dinner at 6:30.
Now, what if one doesn't want to be part of these? Can you just chill and drink at your area?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, okay.
kind of.
All right.
I don't know how much. I'm going to let you know how. I'm going to try. I'm keeping an open mind about this. I'm going to show up to some of these.
Are there multiple things going on, or is this like
No.
everybody does the same thing?
Everybody does the same thing.
That's weird.
There's not enough people for me to kind of do an Irish goodbye. They'll know when I leave.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well, what if
because they all know.
What
me,
if
so.
instead of you, what if it's Bobby J that goes?
Well, like I said, they all know me, so
Oh.
it takes the fun out when they know me.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and then Sunday they've got like a whole day of activities on Sunday, and I'm going to peace out probably late morning Sunday.
Just tell them you need to
Just get
meditate
out.
at home.
I got to go meditate and
I
drive,
gotta meditate
drive
in my
home.
garden.
Yeah, so they have these luxury yurts that people are sleeping in. I'm rolling up with a camper. I'm just going to park it right in the middle of the yurts.
Wow.
I'm bringing some fire.
I didn't hear any of the salacious stuff. When is all that happening?
Well, that's after the music or during
Oh,
the
I
music.
see.
Yeah,
All right.
we just make it. So, let me see. What was the best one? Sunday. Oh, fitness workout. Oh, hell yeah. I'll be there.
Fitness workout.
Oh, yeah, I'll be right
man.
there.
That's all you.
Yeah. More yoga.
A lot of yoga.
God, yeah. A lot of yoga. That's bullshit.
Yoga's good.
Yeah, I just sit there on a mat and nap.
I like to put a little granola in my yoga. Eat it. Maybe some berries.
You know, sugar-free yoga.
Yeah.
It's healthy. It is healthy. So yeah,
Wow.
I will have lots to talk about next episode because this is something I've never done.
Have you
and-
considered what we discussed last week, which is bringing the hippie vibe from the 60s with you?
Yeah, I'm charging up the boombox.
All right.
Take it. I don't want to take the whole PA system, but I've got a pretty good Bluetooth speaker, and we'll.
Okay. All right.
I'll report back and see what music was their least favorite.
I think Motorhead Live.
Motorhead,
Some Hawkwind.
Typo Negative. Actually, I don't know. Typo, they may actually like that. So yeah, some Hawkwind. We'll see if they like that or they hate it.
Yeah, try it out.
We'll
Let us
have,
know.
we'll have a whole episode of music that hippies hate that we love.
I think most of them are on this banner.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got a trend here.
New banner.
Oh, what's the latest drama on that?
All right. So the same company that I went to for the banner that we used last time. Thank you.
I'm late.
Yeah. They sent me a banner in. So I've updated the banner. I did all that work. Sent it in. $80 a pop for a banner. I get it back and it's like cut off on the edges and the top.
It was cropped poorly.
It was, yeah. So I thought, crap, I didn't size it. I left it the size it was when I originally did it. And I guess I didn't check to see if they changed their specs. And guess what? They changed their specs. So I redid it and I made sure that everything fit nice and neat. And I placed a new order. I did not send a message to them to give me my money back because obviously it was my mistake. And now it's getting close. We are almost at Rockin' Pod. In
smell
fact,
it.
when you hear this, that's where we're going to be. But I thought, okay, I made the changes. I'm just going to eat it. $80 later, another $80. I sent it in and I got it back and it was the same damn print.
What the fuck is happening here?
They didn't see that I updated the file. They just said, oh, it's a reprint. We'll just print it again.
19-year-old working at their headquarters somewhere.
Son of a bitch. And so then I send them a very nice note about why they suck. And they got back to me and said, you know what we're going to do? Yes, we agree. This is not correct. We will give you a credit.
On the next thing you buy.
On the next thing you buy. We can't guarantee that we could get you another one in time for your event. So therefore, we're just going to give you a credit. And Godspeed to you, sir.
Oh, you fucking
like, mother...
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
So then I had to find another place that does these. And there's no other place that does these at the same low price.
Yeah, they're all about 4 times as expensive.
So, well, we have one for $150 that's on
not
its
bad.
way.
We'll sell some peanut butter jelly sandwiches on the way to Nashville. That's how the hippies do it.
That's how they do it. Well, you'll find out about that.
Okay.
Hippie commerce this weekend,
Yeah.
right? So,
I'll get some good tips.
anything else going on with you, sir? Oh, I guess we should mention I was here for a little festivity last weekend.
Yeah, you and your wife were actually able to join me at one of my gatherings at my house, which is always fun.
Every 15 years, Robert, we
Every
will make
15
one.
years we'll get together, other than on Wednesdays. Yeah, we had a good dinner. Was it about 16, 17 people, 18 people, somewhere in there? Had dinner outside with a professional chef, not me.
He's Spanish chef.
Spanish chef. Chef
Yes.
Pedro
And we
from
had
Spain.
we had paella, but it was black.
Yeah, it was weird because it was dark by the time we ate. So
Squid ink.
I couldn't see what the hell I was eating, but it was good. So
It was
I just
good.
kept
it was,
eating it.
It was just black rice with lots of
Blacker than black rice.
squid ink in it.
It was
And
paella with squid ink and
lots
shrimp.
of nice little shrimp and yummy, tasty
Yeah, you got to meet
seafoody
some of
things.
my neighbors, some friends you hadn't met before, and some people that you know from your kids' school. That's how adults meet each other. Is
Yeah.
they meet people that go to their kids go to their school.
Yep, that was it. We adulted.
You adulted. Y'all stayed up pretty late. It was like 10, 30.
I know. Yeah, we didn't plan on doing that because our kids we just kind of left them. We didn't even really tell them where we were going. We're like, we'll be back later.
Yeah, don't worry about us.
You'll be all right.
You got my number.
Yeah. Don't leave the burner on.
Isn't it nice though? They're that old that you can do that now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
The old days, that wouldn't have happened.
No, no. You can be home by 10 o'clock, or else you got to pay another $60.
Yep. I've taught them how to use 911.
That's how you order pizza. 911. They love it when you do that.
Oh, man. Anything else going on with you?
Nah, that's it.
Nothing? That's it?
I overate, and I need to get through this podcast before I pass out.
All right. Well, after you overeat and almost pass out, go listen to Pot of Thunder, Cobras and Fire, Growing Up Rock, Slamfest Podcast, Decibel Geek, A to Z Radio, Metal Up Your Podcast, The Hustle, Disciples of the Watch, Podcast Rock City, Sean Geek and Fast Fret Podcast, State of Amorica, Rock Strikes 10, Shout It Out Loudcast, Potter Than Hell, The Kiss Room, Ages of Rock, Retro Zest Podcast, and Doom. Forget about Monty.
Hey, this is Monty Colvin from Galactic Cowboys and Monty's Rockcast, and you are listening to the amazing InObscuria podcast. Rock on!
Monty's Rockcast. Come visit us InObscuria.com. Like us, share us, Facebook, X, Instagram. All right, so I did mention that, by the time this drops, when this episode comes out, we will be either on our way or we will already be in Nashville, Tennessee. And why are we going to be there? If you're still asking us this,
Yes.
well,
You have not been listening to
You've
our
not been
episodes for
listening.
the past 6 months.
yes, but I will let Aaron Camaro tell you why right
One
now.
more time.
Do you love it loud? Come to Rockin' Pod Weekend in Nashville. Rock convention featuring panels, interviews, podcasts, signing sessions, vinyl, pop culture collectibles, and more. Over 30 celebrity guests, members of LA Guns, Accept, Kicks, and more. Live concerts, Nashville Rockin' Fest Thursday, Rare Hair on Friday, Tuck Smith and the Restless Hearts Saturday, Punchlines and Backlines All-Star Comedy Show on Sunday. Full details at rockinpod.com.
So, yes, Rockin' Pod is finally here. If you're still considering going, go. If you're close by. If
Come
not,
on over.
you got a little journey, but make it. We'll be there on Saturday the 12th. If you can get there by then, all day long, come by, see us, hang out with us. We just might be hanging out with Billy Sheehan. You just never know.
We will at some point.
At some point, we're going.
Can't tell you when. It's a secret.
Exactly. Well, not really. We have a schedule, but we're not going to tell people.
We don't know that.
Oh, yes, right. Oh, we don't even know if we're talking to
we're
them.
just showing
That's
up.
right.
We'll walk around till we find them. Hey!
Secrets.
Billy Bob Sheen, come here.
Oh, man. So this week, Robert, we're still atoning for a few weeks ago when we pushed the boundaries of content on this here show. So since we're still atoning, and since this comes out when we're on our way to Rockin' Pod, and since many of the guests at Rockin' Pod are mostly from the world of 80s hard rock and metal, it only feels right that we let our hair down this week.
Oh, here we go.
Go ahead, just let it flow. Let it flow,
Let
man.
it flow.
Now that you got it down, it's flowing. How about teasing it up? Let's put a little Aquanet in there.
Some Soul Glow.
No Soul Glow. We're not going there.
Aquanet.
No, Aquanet.
The pink Aquanet.
Or as the Mighty K calls it, Aqua-crotch.
Aqua-crotch.
I don't know why.
We need explanation for that.
I don't think I want one.
Private message.
That's right, people. It's episode 277, Beneath the Hair, volume 11, Forgotten Glam Metal, New Growth, which is what I need. I need new growth.
So it's basically dandruff. It's below the hair.
Yes, correct. Beneath the hair, I need the little bits that are still coming up.
Yeah.
If you're so lucky.
Little sprigs.
If you're so lucky. Yes. Now, before we get into this, I already mentioned her name. We need to know, what does the Diabolical Duo think of this?
I am Captain
Content.
and this is my faithful companion.
Mighty K.
Say hello.
Listen, your cavities ain't got nothing to do with me. They're gonna be listening for the wrong reasons. Nay, my friend. Everybody's gonna be listening still for the right reasons. The perverts and the non-perverts alike. You're standing erected and I'm standing corrected. I'm going to hell. Did you even understand that? I'm talking gigglish. Hopefully you did, because I'm not repeating it. You're lucky I love you guys. I'm trying not to crash my car. Oh, good. Okay. You guys didn't lose me. I'm still here.
Well, that's good.
Lord.
And guess what?
That was a 2-beer breakfast again.
She's going to be live with us.
Live.
When this comes out. Oh, we have so many questions, Daryl.
Yes.
So many questions.
What does he just like winds her up and sends her out on the road every morning? Like, there you go. Kick her out the door.
Yeah. She retired and he was like, no. I'm going to need you to get back in the car.
Yeah.
Get back out there.
Spend a few hours outside the house a day. Yeah, I know there's 6 feet of snow outside.
Yeah.
You got to go.
I'll shovel it for you.
Yeah. I get the driveway cleared, then you're on your own.
Looking forward to meeting Daryl, and of course, looking forward to hanging out with Mighty K. All right, let's get into this. So we've talked about hair metal obviously 11 times now.
11 times?
At least 11.
So we went to 11.
Yeah, we've gone to 11. This one's going to be one louder, isn't
One
it?
louder.
Yes. So, we've talked about the popularity that hair metal obviously reached in the 80s. Motley Crue, Rat, Quiet Riot, Twisted Sister, Stryper, Def Leppard, Bon Jovi.
Bullet Boys.
Yeah, okay, sure. Throw them in if you want. 86 to 91 is like the sweetest time for it. It's the biggest it got, and it brought newer bands of that time like Poison, Skid Row, Cinderella, Warrant, all that shit. And, I really liked it. At the same time, I was into thrash metal, which is what we did last week. Which is really bizarre because those two camps didn't really
go together
they
very
didn't
well.
And I was into punk before that, so I was a very conflicted child.
Yeah, your battle jacket did not have a lot of hair bands on it. I don't think.
Actually.
Did it?
So how
many times did you get your ass kicked?
Let me give you the evolution of the battle jacket.
Okay.
All right. So I started off really into punk music. And in those days, you didn't do battle jackets for punk music. You did army jackets and you drew with your Sharpie on the back, right? You put, you had to have your Anarchy A on there.
Of course. That was the first thing you
wrote on there. You had on there. And then you as best you could, you wrote
Fugazi or something.
No, they weren't even around yet.
Oh, okay. This is
Minor Threat, Misfits.
Okay. Pre-Fugazi.
All that. Yeah, they were just coming around about that time. But yeah, so I didn't have that army jacket. Brandon had a killer one, but I didn't have it. I was too young, and Mom wouldn't let me do that to a jacket. So I couldn't be that punk.
You were hours away from a good Army-Navy store. I can tell.
I know. I had access. I just couldn't be that punk.
They did not issue Army jackets small enough to fit me. Because anybody my size was not enlisting
in the Army.
They were not getting in the Army. They might have tried, but they were definitely sent to the Coast Guard or something like that.
So by the time I got to my first battle jacket was after I had discovered Metallica, and Metallica led me to Iron Maiden. And once I discovered Iron Maiden, I was hooked. And so my very first battle jacket, the same jacket that I have to this day, originally it had a huge Iron Maiden back patch on it, and all the patches on the front were Iron Maiden as well. I was a little Iron Maiden crazy. And then I went on a school trip to Myrtle Beach. And in Myrtle Beach, they had all sorts of cool shit that a middle school kid would like. And I saw all these patches. I was like, oh, I think I need to redo the old vest. And so I got Dio. I got a big Dio one, got a huge Kiss one. Oh, wait, did I just say that?
Yes.
I got a huge Kiss.
But not from a girl.
Back patch.
You got the
not
patch.
From a girl.
Not from the girl.
Nope, I got patches of dudes with makeup on.
Yeah.
Not kisses from girls.
Not girls with makeup.
No, they were pretty girls in Myrtle Beach, but instead of me kissing them, I was getting patches of the band Kiss and spending all my money and not being able to eat the last day because I spent all my money on the patches.
Totally worth it, man.
Hey, they're still there to this day.
Yeah, but what is the debate or the thought behind sleeves versus no sleeves? Is it cooler without sleeves?
Well, back in the day, I had sleeves on that.
Yeah.
It didn't really come to a no sleeve situation until the 90s for me.
Okay.
Once I was out of the house.
So yeah, you've got two though, right?
Yeah, well, I didn't then. So I'm giving you the evolution here.
Okay.
So I bought those patches, and then I ordered in the mail, because see, back then we did not have the internet.
Nope.
And so I
taped
ordered
a penny to something and mailed it off to get cassettes.
Not patches, but yes, cassettes. No, I ordered Stryper, Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, Cinderella, Judas Priest, trying to think of the other ones that are on there, LA Guns, Kingdom Come. That was a lot of patches. That was a lot of mowing yards back then, man. And those things came, and I was like, Mom, help me out. Put these on.
She didn't see that as a teachable moment, Kevin. Here's the needle. Here's the thread.
Nope.
Here's how you do it.
Nope.
And
my mom
go
did
off
it.
your way.
She did it for me.
Aww.
And put those on. So I had officially transitioned into hair metal, along with I had Halloween, Metallica, and Megadeth on the back. So I was mixing it all up even then.
Yeah.
I was being InObscuria man even then. And my friends were like, "This don't all go together, dude. You're conflicting yourself."
Yeah.
But oh well, contradicting yourself, I should say.
Yes. But you're conflicted when you're contradicted.
I was conflicted as well. Anyway, I wasn't. I just liked heavy music.
Yeah,
I didn't
liked
care.
what you liked.
Exactly. So obviously glam metal suffers the decline of popularity in the early mid-90s as grunge and alternative kind of kicked its ass, as well as thrash had kicked its ass too, and then thrash got its ass kicked. And it was all gone until kind of the late 90s, and there's this band Buck Cherry. They came out and like, that sounds like a hair band, but they're
not
popular.
But they're singing about cocaine.
But they're popular.
Yeah, people like
that.
Them.
Was weird. And I'm not a huge Buck Cherry fan, but I like the fact that they came back out and were playing that kind of music. And then all of a sudden you started seeing greatest hits CDs. Now we're in the CD age. And you're seeing all these greatest hits from all those bands from the 80s. And because of those greatest hits CDs, there was a little interest and people started going to festival shows and they started having those shed tours where there were like 50 bands on one bill and they play their hits and it was fun and it was kind of back for a little bit. And then you started seeing all of these newer bands, mainly from the UK, from Europe, if you were into the scene. The only one that really came to prominence that everybody knew about was The Darkness.
That was the first of the new hair bands because they were full-on hair band.
They were full-on, and they were popular for a minute.
Yeah.
For a minute. Actually, The Darkness just put out a new album, by the way.
And their big hit is one of the worst ones to have to listen to at karaoke.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Honest to God, it boils my piss.
Oh my God!
Nobody can
I've never heard anybody do it.
Nope.
I don't think I want to.
The singer, whatever his name,
Justin Hawkins.
Justin, I know it's Justin. Yeah, Justin is the only person that should be allowed to sing that song ever. Because
some people say he shouldn't even be allowed to sing.
Well, now probably 20 years later, but yeah, I've heard it a couple of times, and you just got to be the drunken idiot and just slur through it. Because if you try to actually do it, you're going to hurt yourself.
Oh, no thanks. Not going there. Now, in the last 10 years or so now we're in the 20s, in the last, call it 10 years, there have been a lot of bands still active. Like a lot of the legacy acts are even coming back and doing reunions in their old age. And
so, you mentioned
putting out new music.
It's dwindling fast, though.
Yeah, it in the last 10 years. So they kind of, it happened and now they're kind of falling back off.
Post-COVID, most of the singers are shot.
Yeah.
There's very few original singers that can go out there because it was notoriously way high up in the range. That was kind of a show-off thing to sing really high. The guitarists, they can survive, but the singers, I don't know that many that can go out there and do it. A few try, but I'm sure they got tons of backing tracks.
Yeah.
Fistnail.
Yeah, so yes, now we're at the point where now a lot of them are actually either retiring or just stopping or dying.
Yeah.
But
or doing it on stage.
Yeah.
You never know.
Exactly.
All of that.
But, things like the party cruises, Monsters of Rock cruise is a big one where a lot of these bands live just to play that cruise every year. Or, there's a label called Frontiers Records who's basically resurrected the career of a ton. They're an Italian label, but they've resurrected the career of a ton of European and American groups and bands from the UK to put out albums, and they do a bunch of these projects where they'll put hey, I'm going to take Tracy Guns and put him with Michael Sweet from Stryper, and you got a band called Sunbomb, and so there's a lot of that going on now.
Oh, and you mentioned the revival. I mean, our friends Sam, Midnight Devils. I mean, what a hell of a live show, and that's what it was all about.
Absolutely,
just a party on stage.
We're going to be talking about them soon.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Good. Stick around, Sam.
Yeah. Well, that's a great transition. So that's kind of what we're going to focus on is bands like the Midnight Devils, bands that maybe weren't even there during the heyday of it all.
Oh, that's right. I don't think he's old enough to.
I don't think he's quite old enough.
Damn, we're old, Kevin. Old.
Now, some of these bands are, but a lot of the ones we're going to go through today are not. They are young guys who have watched everything on YouTube, learned how to play guitar based on the video games and everything that's out there.
Hair.
They know everything from watching it
on YouTube.
God.
That's mind blown.
Yep. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to focus on newer bands playing this style of music now. And a lot of these bands are young dudes. So let's get into it. So the first one up, I just have to say to you, Robert, g'day, Fire Truck.
G'day.
What the hell did you just say?
What?
Yes, we played this awesome Aussie band back on episode 187, which was the last time we did one of these New Growth episodes in 2023. They're back. They have a brand new single, and it just needs to be heard. I'm talking about the band Big Red Fire Truck.
G'day,
from Sydney, Australia. So this band, they have similarities to The Darkness. Just the sound of the music and the way they present everything. They definitely have like a 80s Sunset Strip look, but they're from Sydney, Australia, and they're younger dudes, which is kind of cool. I love this band. I hope we get a full length because all we have so far are 2 EPs and some singles. And this is a brand new single, just came out in 2025. So I'm going to open this up with Big Red Fire Truck. This is Cravin.
Don't be offended.
they checked off all the boxes. I want to see a picture. So the last box is the hair, of course.
Oh, you'll
But
see it. And you'll even see the spandex.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Spandex. Damn. Sounds really uncomfortable.
Yeah, not for me.
Not for me.
Yes.
Well,
Something about being in your 50s, you really shouldn't be wearing spandex.
and they're supposed to be skin tight, and I could never achieve that. There was always baggy on my scrawny ass pipe cleaner legs.
Yeah, they'd be skin tight on me, baby.
Put on the pounds. The little shuffle breakdown. Don't. It's been used a million times. So what? It was fun in there, and then they gave the bass a little breathing room. Wasn't really a solo,
space.
but it gave him some space to kind of stand out a little bit.
Lay down the groove.
Yeah, they stole some lyrics from David Coverdale.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
A little crying in the rain.
It's time.
It's been long enough. He doesn't
Yeah, it's
remember.
long enough. He doesn't know.
Yeah.
Have you ever followed him on, I believe it's either Instagram or X. I can't remember
I don't
which one
follow
he does, but
anybody.
He's got some zingers, but man, is he a creepy old dude. He's just turned into creepy old
You
man.
could see that coming a mile away.
yeah.
He was creepy 40-year-old.
Yeah, just some of the jokes he makes. I'm like, dude, you forget how old you are and what you look like now.
Is he pretty decrepit?
Oh, yeah, he looks pretty bad.
I haven't seen a picture.
I mean,
he still looks like
He looks like
1987.
David. He looks like David Coverdale, but he's much older.
We're going to be there someday too.
We're not too far.
He survived all the coke he did off
I know.
Tawny Contayan's ass.
She's not with us any longer.
No, that was he hasn't done it recently. He did that a long time. Let me just be clear. There's nothing going on like that right now. I'm just saying, back in the 80s, that was guaranteed. That was a thing,
right?
Because if you're dating Tawny Contayan, you got to do. I mean, come on, it's the law.
Exactly.
In 1987,
I think you're right. It's a big red fire truck. What do you think?
I like it, and the name.
good.
Cool, you got me at the name already. Come on,
So
you know
good.
that.
I know they're a truck band. We gotta like it. They made the new banner, by the way.
They did.
They did.
Congratulations. Should we send them an email? Yes.
We should. Yes.
Great.
Welcome to the banner.
Welcome.
Welcome.
You're gonna be rich and famous now.
That means they might be part of the game. So if you're listening ahead, we haven't started the game yet.
Yes.
If you're listening on the day it comes out, that might be one of your options
And
if you play the game.
Also, if they're very lucky and they get successful, we'll take them off the banner.
That's what happens.
That's when you know you've made it. Is we remove you from the banner. Goes against all.
You've made it
logic.
in our heads. You've made it just by being on our banner, but we have to remove you when you become mainstream.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so we hope you get removed from the banner at some point.
Absolutely. And by the way, if you like this kind of music, and when I say this kind of music, I mean the original era of the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
If you like that stuff, go listen to Cobras and Fire. Baco just wrapped up the Hard 180, where he counted down the 100 greatest hair metal albums of all time.
Mm-hmm.
From 101 to 1, because he did math wrong. But it's a really good listen. He did it over the course of, I think, 9 months. It took him to get through it. Almost a year, really.
Don't rush it.
So,
Don't rush it.
Yeah, so if you like that kind of stuff and you want to hear how wrong he got it, go listen to the Hard 180 over at Cobras and Fire. All right, that's enough plugging those guys. Okay, moving on. Up next, you're not going to believe this, some South Kakalaki boys. Not only are they from South Kakalaki.
You're too white to do that. Just letting you know.
I'm from South Carolina, I can say that. But they are from Clemson, South Carolina.
Oh, with a P. Clemson.
Clemson, yes, where I spent much of my time in the early to mid 90s.
And your parents' money.
Attempting to go to school. And you would have thought that I would be the one bringing this to you today, but no. The chairman.
Oh.
The chairman has been sending a steady stream of bands this year, like multiples per week. The man is just on his game. He's on his game. He's the chairman.
Yeah.
He should be.
He's busy, though. He's earning his paycheck.
But he sent this one that was just a little bit different. And he's like, you really should check this one out. I think you might have something in common with these guys. And sure enough, they're from Clemson, South Carolina, where I spent a lot of time. Like I said, they play 70s, 80s style, heavy hitting hard rock. They list Zeppelin, Deep Purple, Aerosmith, Poison, Motley Crue, and Ozzy Osbourne as their influences.
Setting the bar high.
They are maybe 20, let's say lower to mid 20s, and that's what they're playing. I love it. Love it.
And I bet the ladies love it.
And
young ladies.
And these are good looking dudes. These are like
dicks.
guys that if they were in, dicks. If they were in the 80s, they would already be signed and they would probably have tons of videos out. They have videos out on their own, but
but nobody gets actually
signed anymore, especially not this kind of music.
Once they're rich, the record companies will give them a call.
Right. Once they prove that they have the likes and they can sell their own music, then yeah, sure. But this is a band with brothers Grant Hendricks on guitar and Austin Hendricks on vocals. They are a formidable force. Young band. Amazing. And, with a last name like Hendricks, you better be good on guitar. Right?
You're setting yourself up.
Yeah. Let's have a listen. I think you're going to like it. Now, the only thing that's weird about this band is their name. And I'm not really sure what they're going for. Maybe they were just combining some letters. But DAZR is how it's spelled. I assume that you pronounce it DÅZR.
It's a Gen Z thing. You wouldn't understand.
Maybe that's what it is.
Skibbity toilet bullshit.
Yeah,
so
that's
what it is.
DÅZR. Yeah, I think they could have used a little work on that, but that's okay. That's okay.
It depends on how the graphics are. If the Z is really formidable and like lightning bolt shaped, then it goes back up again. You're like, oh, maybe okay.
Yeah, it kind of looks like what do you call it? Graffiti art.
No, you need to consult with them about the font.
I think they need to talk to me.
Yeah,
really.
Reach out.
So here's DÅZR. They only have an EP out, just came out this year. They had a couple singles last year, but now they have a full EP out. This is the first song called Unsatisfied, which is why you got 4 more songs. Makes sense.
Mick Jagger was the same way.
So from the DÅZR EP, here you go.
You were right. If this was 1987, they'd be signed. They'd have a production deal with A&M Records or something. I don't know, whatever.
Capitol,
Yeah, Capitol.
Elektra.
Any of those. Yeah, they've been set up good with a nice tour bus hitting the road.
I agree. If I had any critique, it would be what they were doing at the very end is what they should do, what they should have done in every chorus, where they kind of switch up what the bass and guitar are doing a little bit so that you get a little bit of separation from the main riff to the chorus.
Very good point.
That's the only thing is it's kind of samey all the way through, and then you get to the end, it's like, oh, well, why don't you just do that instead of just doing it at the end? Do that in each of the choruses, but that's just nitpicky.
But a good producer would hook them up with that.
Yeah, exactly. So
we'll stand by the phone until it rings.
I think your last name's Hendrix, Mr. Grant Hendrix on guitar, and you're worthy.
He's got the chops.
Dude can play.
Yeah.
You can tell he worships at the altar of Eddie Van Halen.
I heard just a little bit of a fuzziness, and I was like, I know who he likes.
Perhaps I definitely heard some Rat in there, so maybe some Warren DeMartini as well.
That was another odd pairing in the 80s where you had Van Halen, and they, especially with Roth, was going in that direction of the hair. They started teasing their hair more and the outfits and things like that. But when Sammy took over, it pulled them back away from the hair. And then you had coexisting at the same time Van Halen, which their sound, their songs were about drinking, sex, and fun and everything, but yet it was not hair.
I always put them in the category, but you're right. They came out in the 70s, so they were really a 70s band that just happened to usher in everything that everybody tried to copy in the 80s.
Yeah, but they were around, and it's not like they went away during the hair band things.
Right.
They were doing their own thing, but you can't call them a hair band once Sammy took over.
Yeah, they morphed into almost an AOR band.
Yeah, really.
Because they had the keyboards.
They had the keyboards. They had just a big, huge sound to it.
I still put them all together. On any playlist that I have any hair bands, I have Van Halen on there too, because it just works.
Nobody's going to argue with the fanship crossed over heavily.
Now, funny thing, if you'll recall, when I listed the bands that were influences of this group, Van Halen was not on the list. It was Zeppelin, Purple, Aerosmith, Poison, Motley Crue, Ozzy Osbourne.
What we know the truth.
Yeah. The truth is, there's no way that guitarist does not listen to the other band, Rat or Van Halen, because that's what they have. To me, that's their sound. But I love it. I love that there's these young dudes just up the street in South Carolina doing this. It's pretty cool.
Makes these old men proud here.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so for the next band, I'm going to take you back to Rockin' Pod. Actually, we're there now. It's weird. We're conflicted again. Yes, in 2023. Yes, in 2023, we were in Nashville, and we had the honor of meeting and hanging out with Mr. Montreal himself, our brother in podcasting, Mr. Eric Lucier.
Lucier,
yes.
I don't know.
Lucier.
Flip a coin. Is it Lucier?
I don't know, man.
That sounds cool.
He's French, man. He's from Montreal.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to you no more, you empty-headed animal food trough whopper. I fart in your general direction.
Down here to be Lucier.
Yeah, he was speaking with a French accent. The dude he's just a cool dude.
Yeah.
And we hung out with him. He's on the CGCM Rock Radio Canada, if you want to go listen to them. I think that's Canadian Geeks Chatting Metal. That's what that stands for. Anyway, so we were hanging out with Eric. He was wearing a t-shirt the first night we met him, and on his shirt was this kind of Rolling Stones looking lips, but there were teeth, and it read DERAPS. DERAPS. And I said, Eric, what is that on your shirt? And he goes, oh, you don't know about this band DERAPS? They have the closest thing to Van Halen that any band has ever been.
What?
The guitarist sounds like Edward Van Halen. The drummer sounds like Alex Van Halen. He's like, you got to go check this band out. He said, but the singing's not the same. You don't get this Roth kind of thing. It's more like extreme. You get lots of harmonies and
just the Gary Sharon years.
Yes.
Oh, no.
maybe. Well, no. That's a good point. I didn't even put that together. But yeah, no. This is more like this band sounds like if you were take Extreme in their prime, you take Van Halen in the Roth era, and you put them together. That's kind of what DERAPS sounds like. And it's guitarist Jacob DERAPS. He's from St. George, Quebec, Canada, and drummer Josh Gallagher, who is from Perth, Australia. They met online. See, this is how you know they're young. They met online doing Van Halen covers on YouTube. That's how they met. They got recognition for their ability to capture that sound.
That's so 2001.
Exactly.
I mean,
and they got
excuse me, I'm sorry. That's so 2021. That's what I was talking about. During the pandemic, because you would sit around and upload things to YouTube. We had nothing better to do.
Yeah. So they got a deal and came together and became DERAPS. And it's just kind of the two guys, and then I guess they hire out the rest of the work. But
speaking of YouTube, go on there and look up.
Oh, you ain't got this thing if you ain't got that thing. Oh, you ain't got a thing
cling if you ain't got that cling. Do rap, rap.
Handy Wrap 2 with Cling Plus has twice as much cling as old Handy Wrap, so it seals in freshness and flavor longer.
Rap, rap.
It's a commercial. It's a commercial from the 80s.
I
Cling
remember.
Wrap. You remember?
Yes.
Yeah. So you're welcome.
Oh, God. All right. So anyway, I go out, I check out the album. It came out in 2023, just the one album, and I thought it was pretty good. They've shared stages with Foreigner, Ann Wilson, Loverboy, Blue Oyster Cult, and Lee Aaron.
Who?
She's the metal queen.
Oh, I'm thinking Lee Greenwood. Sorry. You threw me off there.
Canadian artist. She was
okay.
Big in the early 80s. We've played her before. You don't
Okay.
remember. It's okay. So yeah, their debut came out in 2022. I think I said 2023. I was wrong. That's when I found out about them. But their debut came out the year before, and so I was going to put a song on from that album because it's pretty damn good, and we haven't played it yet. And then I just happened to go, I should check out and see what they're up to right now. And damn it, if they don't have a new album, just waiting
perfect
for
timing.
us. It's going to drop on May 23rd, but they've already released 2 singles, so we're going to play some brand new music from the Raps.
Rap.
And their album is called Viva Rock and Roll. Like I said, it'll be out in May. We're going to play this single called Last Fall. See if you can catch just a hint of Van Halen in here.
Tear me apart.
They had me at the extra long fade out. They had me at the drums at the very beginning of the song, and then
the drum sounds so Alex Van Halen.
Oh God, where do I even start on that? So the guitars, the rhythm guitars throughout the song sound like Edward, but the lead did not. It was too single notey. It was
clean.
Too clean.
Okay.
He just played. It was melodic and clean. Where Ed later on he would do that, but then
he would always throw something in between.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he kind of held back a little bit on some later albums, and then he would shred. Kind of Neil Schon just wanted to shred on every single ballad, and they would hold him back. And so a lot of the songs he da 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 da, and he's going crazy. And then they kind of let him shred just a little bit at the end of the song, just to keep him in the band.
Well, he just did the same thing here. He did the Neil Schon move because he was ripping up as they were fading out.
Yeah, and they just let him go with that. So all of that together, I hope they're around to grow and mature a little bit, because this sounds kind of new, and it sounds like, okay, production wise, the harmonies are exactly the same, just like you had said the other song. Break it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's got to breathe a little more.
That all the same exact harmonies, but I still loved it. I loved it.
And I don't know if you noticed, but very similar to Van Halen, they had the rhythm guitar, just one single guitar, just like Edward did, hard panned in the left. They had the bass in the right, and then you had your stereo drums, but everything was kind of hard panned. So when the drummer would hit the drums, you could really hear it go from left to right.
And then the transition between the harmonies and just the lead vocal, there was this space, and it was kind of weird. And I'm like, that's just odd. Why is there a space there? It's because that's where David Lee Roth would be going, skibbity-bitty-bitty-woo! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Yeah. So that if they had thrown some of those in, even if they were just snippets from actual David Lee Roth musings,
I don't think they're trying to be Van Halen. They're just trying to take inspiration from them.
It would have been perfect. So that being said, maybe he can loosen up just a little bit and throw a couple of things in like that.
Well, I felt like the vocals are a little low in the mix too. That was the only other thing.
Well, the harmonies were like one
there,
mix,
but when it was just the one singer,
it was different.
I couldn't really hear it. So
and that's what I'm saying. It's new. It wasn't a $2 million recording budget.
Yeah,
but I
sounded
still loved
amazing.
It.
Still sounded amazing.
And I hope they have more. Is that a single, or you said the album's forthcoming?
Yeah, so the album comes out in May, which is a month away from when we're recording this. They have 2 singles out. The first single is kind of a ballad.
Yeah.
So this is kind of the rockin' single, and then I'm assuming the rest of the album will probably be pretty much like this.
All right, let me get. I'll get my assistant to remind me.
Okay, the raps.
Can you remind me?
Okay.
thanks.
Yes, we can do that.
All right, I'll be reminded.
Ronnie James DOG.
Hey.
Reminder.
Put it on your calendar.
All right, his ears are up.
Yeah, who's moving his ears?
Okay. All right. I think you're good. Yeah. Great band. The other thing I mentioned, Extreme. They definitely had some harmonies, kind of like Extreme would have, but also reminded me of Saigon Kick.
Yeah.
Very much Saigon Kick sounding as well. Although, who knows if these guys even heard Saigon Kick.
Love is all the way.
Had that sound.
Yeah.
Totally.
6-part harmonies.
Yep, exactly. All right, well, let's go away from that. We got to get sleazy.
Okay.
It's time to get sleazy. We've done the technical stuff. Let's get sleazy now.
Take off my pants.
Yeah, exactly. No, leave them on. Put them back on, man. What are you doing?
Well, you said sleazy.
God, take you anywhere. All right, so we're going to play a band that is actually going to be at Rockin' Pod 2025. They're going to be there, going to be on site, meeting people, shaking babies and all that. Or no, shaking hands, sorry.
Yeah, kissing hands and shaking babies.
Yeah, something like that. It's a Nashville band that's been on the scene since 2023, so they've been around a long time.
Seen a lot those 2 years.
Oh, man, they've grown a lot.
Half.
So they're a mix of both 70s and 80s glam with a very unhealthy dose of hedonistic jungle maleness.
What the hell did you just say?
I like the unhealthy dose part.
These guys...
That's the right amount.
When you hear them, you're going to be like, oh, I know where they get their banter in their lyrics. I think they worship at the altar of Mr. Paul and Mr. Brett. And you'll hear it when you hear this.
Okay.
And I actually have the live EP that they just put out, and we may feature that somewhere later in the year. But yes, the banter is strong on the Paul and Brett isms. And of course, I'm talking about Brett Michaels and Paul, that guy with the star. You know what I'm talking about, the preacher man,
Dallas Cowboy,
the preacher man from New York. He was in that band. Kiss Connection.
Favorite word.
Second Kiss Connection.
Favorite word.
People. He just can't remember names for shit.
Hi.
People.
Nice to meet you, people. Do I make this autograph out to people? Yeah, here you go. I'm just going to write people, and there you go.
I'm just telling you, go listen to this band. The name of the band alone will get you to go listen to them. Their name, Dixie Dragster.
Dixie Dragster.
And yes, they're going to be at Rockin' Pod, and they've been playing gigs lately with bands like Mike Tramp's White Lion. They opened for Jesus Jones. I didn't even know Jesus Jones was still around.
Right here, right now.
Though they were. Maybe like
right then, right there.
then. Yeah, maybe a year
over
ago.
there and right.
They played with Tuck Smith.
Okay.
And most recently, I see that they played with our boys. You've already mentioned them, the Midnight Devils, who played in Nashville about a month ago. And
I wish
Dixie
we could
Dragster
scheduled that better. They could have come over for another interview.
I know. Too bad.
Sam, one of these days.
Yep. He'll come back. All right. So they released, like I said, their first album, and it's a live EP. And they even say it on the live EP. We decided, let me tell you a little something, people. We decided to release this as a live EP because we're a live band, blah, 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 blah. You know, something like that. I'm paraphrasing, of course.
That was written when there were about 6 beers then, I'm sure.
But they got the whole thing, man. They got it down. They're a great, sleazy, glammy band. And I'm going to play from one of their actual recorded singles. Some other point in the year, we may listen to the live album. But for now, I'm going to let you hear Payroll from Dixie Dragster.
Okay, not sure. I have to give that a couple more listens. The it just that got old. They needed something over the top of that, kind of like a lead or something to kind of break it up.
That was a talk box. They were saying payroll.
I got that, yeah.
And then they're using the talk box behind it. But the miss there was, to your point, if you're going to play a talk box on a song and use it in the chorus, you better come over the top with a little talk box solo.
Or at least say, do you feel?
You got to have something. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It needed something up above that because it got monotonous at the end. I don't know what to say it, so other than payroll.
Yeah. Again, this is a young band. That single came out in 2023. They were a brand new band when that came out. So I'm sure they've grown since then. That song is on the EP, and it sounds live.
But they're going in the right direction.
Exactly. It's got a lot of promise.
Go that way.
There's a reason they're opening for Tuck, right? I'm sure Tuck is probably going to hopefully take them under his wing.
That'd be a great idea.
He'll make them sound a whole lot different.
Sit down. All right, here we go.
Sit down.
Sit down.
No.
Have a seat.
Have a seat.
Have a seat. But what if I don't want to have a seat?
Have a seat.
Why don't you take a seat?
No, I don't want to take a seat.
Have a seat.
No, I'm just going to go.
Take a seat right over there.
How does he do that?
So good.
It's so good.
How do you do that?
Yeah, so I like where this band's going. I will tell you, they made the banner.
Yay!
The new banner. Yes, good. Welcome, Dixie Dragsters. Not Vikings.
No, that's right.
Yes. Okay, next up is another newer band, kind of on the sleaze scale here. They recently played the 2025 MORC, Monsters of Rock Cruise.
Yes, I had to sound it out first.
They were the young band on the Monsters of Rock Cruise. They were the band that did not have to take Geritol in the morning.
That'd be easy to spot.
Yes, exactly. They were easy to spot because they looked like they should just be attendees of the MORC.
The grandchildren of the people on stage.
Yeah. This is a band from LA called The Bites. Not The Biters.
Yeah.
Or not Biters. That was Tuck's band. Yeah. No, this is The Bites.
BYTES?
BITES.
Also actual? Okay, not computer nerds.
Right. Oh, boy. Yes, no.
Hey, all right, so the compression and expansion of the longitudinal waves cause the erratic oscillation, you can see it there, of the neighboring particles.
So they've already released their debut album. It's called Squeeze, and it has a lovely album cover. You should probably go check that out. Okay. With an album cover like the name Squeeze, you can only imagine. They have shared stages with Sebastian Bach, the 69 Eyes, and the Dead Daisies, and now they've played MORC, so playing some cool shows. I'm assuming they have another album coming out because this was released in 2023. I almost put it on my Shallow Graves solo Best of 24 episode, and then I looked at the date when it came out, and it said 2023, so sorry, couldn't put it on.
Oops, sorry.
My own
Too
rules.
late.
But I'm going to play them now, and this is the single, or one of the singles from the album. Really good song called Heather Leather.
Yes, that album cover. It's very titillating.
It's what you would expect with a title like that. Yes.
Yes.
Kind of on the nose. Well, not really.
I wish.
Swing!
You are a sexist pig.
If you told me that was from 1987, I would not argue you.
No, I'd be
at
like,
all.
okay, one of the also rans.
Right.
Didn't quite make it big in the 80s, but better production value on that one than the past couple of songs.
Huh.
So, I my opinion only. So, yeah, it had the clapping in it. Like the rock and roll tambourine, all the
they had a little extra,
all those boxes.
Yeah, they did what the last band should have done, which is add a little bit more texture to certain
as
bits.
the song goes, and kind of build
add
and
a little
build.
more, change it up a little bit.
Change it up.
Yeah, don't just cut and paste.
Nope.
So yeah, I mean, they sound like they're from the '80s. They're young dudes again doing this whole thing. They're from LA, so to me, they're like the new Poison, if there's such a thing.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
I'd allow that.
Okay. All right. We'll go with that. Apparently, they went over really well. I heard some reviews from Mort, and our friends at Growing Up Rock did a review. Our friends at Potter Than Hell, and they both liked them very much. Thought they went over really well. They played the pool stage and I think another show there, but everybody seemed to like them.
You wear your leather in the pool while you're watching?
Yes, absolutely. Just
That's
like Chris Holmes.
That's what we did, yeah.
All right, so moving on. So all of the bands that we've played have either been from 2025 or 2023. We are going to take a step backward, back in time now. Come with me to the year.
All right, let's go.
2012.
I'm going to bring a sandwich.
All the way back to the year 2012. And I do need you now.
That was a good year,
It was a good time.
I bought this property in 2012.
How about that?
I didn't move in until a couple of years, but it's
the uncovering of the old firehouse. All right, well, I am going to need you to take off that Viking helmet for this next one, please.
Trying to get my nose whistle.
Finland, Finland, Finland.
What?
Finland has it all. You're so sadly neglected and often ignored up for second to Belgium when going abroad. Finland, Finland, Finland.
Okay, yes, this is what we call it. This is Viking adjacent because they're from Finland.
Yeah, they're the neighbors.
Yes,
Viking neighbors.
Yes, not quite considered part of Scandinavia, right next to them, in between Russia.
The Vikings didn't really leave their neighbors. I know they got in boats and went and screwed around with people.
Yeah.
But their neighbors, did they leave them alone?
I don't think they thought anything was in Finland. There was nothing to pillage in Finland.
You guys got...
They had to go west.
Okay, you got nothing. We're going to go over here now.
You guys, it's cold. It's even colder there.
Exactly.
We're just not going there.
It's 3 more colder there.
And it's like dark half the year. We're not going there.
No, that kept them out.
Yes. This is a band from Finland called Baton Rouge Morgue.
What?
Yes, Baton Rouge Morgue. There was already a hair band called Baton Rouge, so they added Morgue at the end, so therefore...
Not to be confused with Murder in the Rue Morgue.
No, exactly. You got that.
Completely different song.
Exactly. So this is a band from Porvoo, Finland, which is close to Helsinki. I did a little research.
Just outside of Richview.
Not View, Voo. But good one. Yeah.
Crappy part of town.
So you're probably thinking, how in the hell do you know about this band from Finland? Well, I found out about this band via a short documentary. It's less than an hour. It's on Amazon. I'm assuming it's on YouTube as well.
It's about short people.
What the hell you say?
It's about short. No, it's not a little band. No, it's a short documentary called There's Something About Metal. And basically they follow the guitarist of this band, Domino de la Rouge, and the vocalist, Lee Angel Morgue.
Do they speak French over there? Because these are between the Baton Rouge.
I'm sure those are their God-given names. Their mama's named them that. But they follow them around as they explain why metal is so big in Finland and what it's like to live in Finland. And you get to see them travel to Finnish metal festivals in between them rehearsing with their own band on a really nice farm, like out in the country that looks beautiful. And they have the most amazing chopper bikes that they ride, and it looks like they are not hurting for money. And then they show you Domino at his tattoo studio. So he obviously does really well as a tattoo artist. And yeah, this band just looks like they're living their life. They're just having the best life in Finland. And they talk about how it's dark half the year. And so when the summer comes, they go to all these festivals and they
it's
take
just
you to these
nothing
festivals.
but outdoor this, outdoor that every day probably.
Yeah. It looks amazing, actually. It looks like I want to go to Finland now.
But then leave. Leave at the dark time.
Leave when it gets
I don't
dark.
want to be there.
But they talk about why metal music makes so much sense in Finland because of the cold and the dark and the,
You have plenty of time to practice.
And they play a lot of, in these festivals, yes, they talk about that. They're like, got nothing else to do, so we build these amazing choppers on our downtime. We rehearse, they explain everything, like why Finland is awesome for metal musicians.
The metal music, it's generally speaking really mainstream in Finland. The album charts, metal music, like top 10, there's bound to be at least like 5 metal bands there.
Even though I'm turning 33 years old, once a year you still have to make up to get all the black blood around us. You just gotta feel that same feeling that you had when you were 13. You bought your first Anthrax record and you were like, this is the toughest motherfucking shit that I ever heard.
We're here in southern Finland in a secret location recording a new CD.
This is the way we do it in Finland. Yeah!
But every time they take you to these festivals, it's all like death metal and black metal.
Yeah.
Which is like weird because you hear this band rehearsing and it's like they're mixing in Guns N' Roses and Faster Pussycat and Dokken and that kind of style music.
Is it Death Hair?
I don't know, but they have a little element of it, but I guess this is Finnish hairband. They have a little bit of darkness to it.
Yeah.
A little darkness to it. So I'm going to let you hear one of their songs off an EP that came out in 2012. They have 7 full-length albums since 2005. Looks like they're still around, but I'm not seeing anything posted on their socials in the last 10 years as far as music.
It's been dark that long.
So
they don't get internet in the wintertime. It's so cold.
Apparently it's been very dark for them. So I'm not really sure if they're still around, but really cool band to go back and listen to. This is from the Hat Trick EP that came out in 2012. This is the song Massacre of St. Valentine's Day.
Lights out.
massacre on St. Valentine's Day.
Well, apparently you can take a dark subject like that and make it a hair song.
Well, I mean, if you think in the vein of Wasp and early Motley Crue,
yeah,
kind of same thing.
But they did a better job than a lot of the hair bands back in the day, whose most of their songs were about sex, drugs, rock and roll, partying, getting drunk. You be at their concert, about halfway through, they're like, all right, we'd like to take a second to get serious. And we have a song about saving the rainforest in Brazil. You're like, what? No, God. Okay,
no.
I got to go to the bathroom.
I tell you what, this is what I call great energy. This is what rock and roll is all about right here. Good friends, good times, hanging out, having a party. This is it. This next song I want to do for everybody here tonight. This song means the world to us, okay? This is something we want to dedicate to all of our men and all of our women in the armed forces overseas right now, kicking ass. Give us the freedom we get in this country every single day.
But yeah, everybody had their one kind of moral high ground song, and then they get back to songs about doing coke off of people's asses.
Yes.
I don't think I ever wrote one of those songs, did I? I don't think so.
Janae?
It's pronounced Janae, not Johnny. The words you say weren't funny, and now I'm living down the reputation that I just can't win.
No, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, that's close. That's about as close as you get right there, yeah.
Not Johnny.
Good times. Good times. Good memories.
Good times. All right. Memories.
The second time we dated.
That's usually how it works.
Well, she got augmented by then. So
oh, right.
Twice as much fun.
Yes. If you need better reference, go to the last song. The album was called Squeeze. Okay, moving forward. Baton Rouge Morgue, man. I think they're cool. I really like them. A lot of references to Dokken, a lot of George Lynch-isms in what they do.
Yes.
A lot of Wasp in there, and it's Finnish, so it's not the same Sunset Strip kind of thing. This is the strip in Finland, which is dark and gloomy.
Probably has some hills to it.
Yeah, but my God, if you watch that documentary, it's beautiful in the summer. Like it's a place you want to go see.
Those are the places that our friends up in Canada.
Roberto, it's pronounced Canada.
Can explain this better. When it's really cold, the plants are extra bright and they bloom extra light.
When it does finally thaw and everything's nice, it's beautiful.
Go all out for a few short months before they're brutally massacred by the next blizzard.
All right, so I have one more for you tonight, and I'm going to end with a band that played the second Rockin' Pod Expo pre-party back in 2018. You were not there.
No, I wasn't even born yet.
I'm not sure about that, but I attended that event with one Jeremy Zamora, our good friend Jeremy. He went with me that year.
Yeah.
And I was not doing a podcast and just sort of hanging out, really.
You guys were just talking to each other without microphones.
Exactly. We were not recording our conversations and arguments.
But it was the same conversations.
They were the exact same conversations. So we go to the pre-party, and I knew that this band was going to play because these guys are friends of Decibel Geek. They had played a few songs of theirs. The name of this band is Denman, and they were kind of all the rage, at least in the Nashville scene, of a young dudes doing this same kind of thing, doing this hair band kind of music, and they mixed 80s glam metal with thrash, and so they were they were right in my wheelhouse. Is all the stuff that I loved in the 80s. These guys were in their call it mid-20s at that time, and in the late 20-teens they were propelled by the awesome axe wizardry of Dakota Denman. That's where the name comes from, the band Denman. And his brother, Ben Denman, another band with brothers in it. And they both play guitar. Ben sings. Dakota, they both play guitar and really well, I might add. Dakota is like a force. Like, this guy can play. And they moved from upstate New York to Nashville because they were really good. And they knew if they went to Nashville, they'd have a lot of opportunity.
That's where you go to make it big these days.
Do other things.
No longer Las Vegas.
What?
Yeah, so they made a big name for themselves in the local rock scene. Eventually, they hooked up with...
Did I say Las Vegas?
You said Las Vegas. I think you meant Nash Vegas.
No, I meant Los Angeles.
Oh, Los Angeles.
I was thinking, you don't move there to get famous anymore. You
I get what you're saying. Yes.
I got those two mixed
They went to Nash Vegas.
Nash Vegas. That's what my brain was thinking. My mouth was on a different, completely trajectory.
That's all right. I'll throw in a wrong answer buzzer in there.
What the hell?
I would never do that to you.
I saved you time right there.
Thank you.
You don't have to edit
Appreciate that.
What the
hell you say?
Anyway, I interrupted. Sorry.
Oh, so anyway, eventually these guys hook up with a Nashville transplant of the time, a guy from Germany named Michael Wagner, and he's a producer, an engineer. He's worked with a few bands in his career. I'll just name a few.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah. So he engineered an album called Master of Puppets by Metallica.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, he did that one. And then he was a producer for Motley Crue, Wasp, Overkill, Accept, Great White, Stryper, Poison, Keel, Alice Cooper, Extreme, Megadeth, Ozzy Osbourne, Dokken, White Lion, Skid Row, and King's X.
I said, God damn. God damn.
Now, that dude's seen some coke.
Yeah.
I don't know
That dude's probably partaking.
I don't know if
in
he's done it, but he has seen it. I guarantee.
Yeah. And Michael Wagner was featured for a while on Decibel Geek a couple of times, and he was at this particular Rockin' Pod as well. He has since retired.
Okay.
So he no longer does that music, but he helped this band Denman out. He did their EP and their full length. 2017, they put out an EP. 2018, they played this. I see them live. Jeremy sees them live, and we were both pretty impressed with them. They were really cool. And they basically took that whole thrash and hair metal thing, combined it on stage, and just had a lot of fun. And they looked like they were straight out of the 80s as well. Their full length came out in 2019, and then you didn't really hear anything else from them. On socials, officially, it doesn't say that they've stopped being Denman, but I know that Dakota got his pilot's license, so he flies planes now. But he's also gigging with an 80s cover band called Hairball, and they tour all over the country, and they do big shows.
Iron Maiden style. He's got his own plane.
Yeah, not quite as big as Maiden's.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's flying smaller.
It's a
planes.
Cessna single prop.
But anyway,
ultralight.
So I don't know that they're going to go back to Denman. I don't really know what Ben's up to, but I know Dakota's still playing, and I think he even played with the band. There's going to be a band called Pretty Tied Up at this year's Rockin' Pod. Mm-hmm. And I believe he plays with them sometimes as well. So he may even be around when we're doing this. But I'm going to play from their band Denman. This came off the EP from 2017. This is so 80s. High Heels and Leather.
First time I saw you, my heart
So was that both of them trading licks on the lead? That's cool.
That's how good they are.
God. Bastards. A little bit of Zach Wilde thrown in there.
So I was going to mention, Michael Wagner is the guy that produced No More Tears.
Ah.
And this had a very No More Tears type of production to this.
Yeah.
With the big kind of gang vocals and the big drum sounds and, the crazy pinch harmonics everywhere. And, he did them a solid on this production for sure.
Yeah, that's a nice little parting gift. Here you go. I'm going to give you a badass song.
Yeah. Really, really good stuff. I wish they would have continued. Their full length is a little heavier than this. I mean, this is like the most 80s Sunset Strip sound that they have, but some other stuff gets a little heavier and a little faster.
Oh, okay.
They were a really good band. I understand money has to be made.
Yeah, at some point you got to pay bills.
Yep, exactly.
Especially when women start showing up.
Exactly.
And then kids start showing up.
Yeah.
And then bills start showing up.
I mean, they were writing about the high heels and leather. Then that turns into dating. And then the high heels go away. And
you get preschool and daycare.
Yeah, preschool and daycare
are so expensive. I'm going to learn how to fly.
Oh, man. Well, I kind of took you back.
Yeah.
But didn't take you back at all because these are
brought me
brand
right back.
new bands.
Round trip. You're the best Uber.
Exactly.
Took me for a ride, but then brought me home.
I prefer Lyft.
Lyft?
Yeah.
It's been years since I've been in either one. Knock on wood.
Well, since we're officially at Rockin' Pod, as you're listening to this, we should probably jump in an Uber right now.
Yes, we will be utilizing their services.
Yes, we will, because I will not be driving us anywhere.
No, and I won't have a car. So
we will be taking was it ride share? Is that the official term?
Ride share.
Ride share, yes.
Generic term.
Yes, the generic term.
Yeah.
So we will be doing that. People, if you're listening to this and it's still before Friday night, still before Saturday, April 12th.
Make the car. Get in the car. Come on. Make the ride.
Yeah, I don't care.
We're going to hang out.
So what if you live in Helsinki?
We're going to dress up. We're going to look our best.
We are.
Our finest.
I did order a very special shirt to wear.
Oh.
It may not make it in time.
Is it a tuxedo t-shirt?
Oh, it's close.
Okay,
You're going to be like, what the hell are you wearing? But I've seen you wear some amazing shirts in the past, and I'm like, I got to compete with this guy.
Yeah, I got to go start picking up my wardrobe.
So I got something. I got a surprise if it shows up in time.
Should I do the leopard print pants?
Yes, you should.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, dude, they're comfortable. They're velvet.
Ooh, velvet.
Red velvet leopard print pants, yes.
Oh my God. What the hell is this? Don't tell me. Velvet?
It's the real deal.
She's seen you in this thing?
That's right. We just had sex.
And we have 2 rooms. One for us.
And one for the party.
And one for the party. So come on by. Only if you're a midget and you know how to mud wrestle.
And you got strippers and your Rolodex. Somewhere on your phone.
All right, people. Until next time.
See ya later.